Welcome to SRMV News. Their main wrongdoing was not being Russian. The Circassian Genocide, the Circassian Annihilation, or the Tlapsarek, was the 19th century Russian Empire's precise killing, ethnic purging and constrained removal of up to 97% of the North Caucasus Mountains' native Circassians from their hereditary grounds. The practically absolute demolition of this old, pre-Indo-European individuals from lands they had possessed for centuries was current Europe's most memorable destruction. All this was an illustration of the now scandalous Russian way of war, which the world is currently watching with frightfulness, as this notorious procedure is uncovered in today nauseating severity in Ukraine. On account of the Circassians, when the biggest ethnic gathering in the northern Caucasus, this eradication was finished to the point that couple of today realize this country even existed. Ages after the deficiency of their early stage country and a huge number of their everyone to the Russian intruders, the Circassians of today are battling for the option to get back to their darling mountain country. In 2011, administrators in Georgia perceived the mass extradition and killing of ethnic Circassians by Tsarist Russia as decimation. Consistently on May 21, the enduring Circassians honor the Circassian Genocide. If it's not too much trouble, go along with us for a conversation on this massacre that has been kept concealed for quite a long time and unfortunately eliminated the name of the old Circassians from the majority of the world's still small voice. We will have a board of specialists, students of history, writers, and legislators to examine this Tsarist period unique military operation from its starting points in the eradication of the Circassians in their lost holy town of Sochi, later utilized for Putin's exhibit of Russian patriotism in the colder time of year Olympics, to the nauseating slaughters of Bucha, Mariupol and somewhere else in Ukraine today. Specialists. Fatima Tlis is a Voice of America columnist in Washington, D.C. Fatima assisted tracked down the VOA hostile to disinformation with citing polygraph.info. Polygraph sent off in 2016 with an emphasis on Russia. However, the site presently covers China and severe systems in different pieces of Asia, Latin America, Africa, and the Mideast. Fatima, an ethnic Circassian, recently detailed for the Associated Press on the violent circumstance in her home area of the North Caucasus. In 2007, the United States allowed Fatima haven after a series of dangers and assaults on her by Russian security administrations. Fatima was effectively associated with the drive that prompted the acknowledgement of the Circassian Genocide by Georgia. Janusz Bugajski is a senior fellow at the Jamestown Foundation in Washington, D.C. He has created 20 books on Europe, Russia, and overseas relations. His most recent book is entitled Failed State: Planning for Russia's Rupture, 2022. Ongoing books incorporate Eurasian Disunion, Russia's Vulnerable Flanks, with Margarita Isanova, 2016, Conflict Zones, North Caucasus and Western Balkans Compared, 2014, Return of the Balkans, Challenges to European Integration and U.S. Withdrawal, 2013, and Georgian Lessons, Conflicting Russian and Western Interests in the Wider Europe, 2010. Bugajski has been an expert for the U.S. branch of defense, the U.S. Organization for International Development, USAID, and a core seat for South Central Europe Area Studies at the Foreign Service Institute, U.S. branch of state. He has affirmed before a few congressional committees, including Helsinki Commission, Senate Foreign Relations, Senate Armed Services, House Foreign Affairs, and House Defense Appropriations. He is likewise a feature writer or supporter of news sources in the United States, the United Kingdom, Albania, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Croatia, Georgia, Kosovo, and Ukraine. Nagzart Sakari is at present a member of the Political Council of the United National Movement, the biggest resistance in Georgia. Mr. Sakari is a philologist by forte. Toward the finish of 1980s, he was effectively associated with the public development for Georgia's freedom from the Soviet Union. During the 1990s he was a columnist at Free Georgia paper. In 2000 to 2006, Mr. Sakari was a director of a publishing house Litera, and in 2006 to 2008, the director of the publishing house of Tbilisi State University. Mr. Sakari was a member of the Parliament of Georgia for 2 terms. In 2008 to 2012, he was a chair of the Committee of Diaspora and Caucasus Issues. During 2012 to 2016, he was a deputy chair of the Committee of Diaspora and Caucasus Issues. Mr. Tsakari lived in Chechnya and Ingushetia during 1992 to 1993. He had a nearby contact with the first president of Georgia Zviad Gamsakhurdia, presidents of the Chechen Republic of Ichkeria Jakhar Dudov and Aslan Moskadov. In 2011, Mr. Tsakari started a goal took on by the Parliament of Georgia on Circassian decimation. Brian Glynn Williams, from a distance, is tenured full professor of Islamic history at the University of Massachusetts Dartmouth and previously instructed at the University of London's School of Oriental and African Studies. He is writer of 7 field research put together books with respect to identity, fighting and psychological warfare in Eurasia. These incorporate his latest book with Oxford University Press, The Crimean Tatars: From Soviet Genocide to Putin's Conquest, as well as a prior book, Inferno in Chechnya, about the Russian-Chechen Wars, from the Tsarist time frame to Putin's period. Dr. Williams is ordinary observer on news scenes going from CNN and BBC to Turkish radio TV and has his work and articles show up in the New York Times, Times of London, Washington Post, Time magazine, and Newsweek. He is likewise a standard essayist for such diaries as the Huffington Post, West Point's Counter-Terrorism Center, Sentinel, and History News Network. He has broad hands-on work in disaster areas going from Afghanistan and Iraq to Crimea and Bosnia and communicates in Russian and Turkish. He has composed and spoken on the Circassian annihilation in such settings as CNN and the Huffington Post. Thanks for watching.